Should we install an acoustical membrane under ceramic or natural stone tiles? Yes. Ironically, and we saw it a little bit earlier in previous video clips, the way acoustical noises, so basically the way impact noises are transferred, if we remember or recall, it is through density. So denser a material is, faster the impact vibrations will travel through that material. So ironically, a ceramic tile floor, which is often the floor covering within a condominium that's not going to necessarily have an acoustical membrane attached to it, is actually probably the worst floor covering for transfer of impact noises because of its density. So if we think about it, you have a concrete slab, whether it's 8-inch, 7-inch, 9-inch, it doesn't really matter, you still have a very dense substrate. When you put a ceramic tile on top of it with the thin set in the ground, you're still looking at a very, very dense sandwich, a very dense structure, which means that impact vibrations will go through it a lot easier than even wood, laminate, or any kind of resilient flooring. So it is a great idea to actually make sure that you install a acoustical membrane under this type of floor covering to, again, make sure that you're absorbing those vibrations to go and to be transferred to the neighbors underneath of you. That being said, in this particular case, if we look at a ceramic tile installation, once it is thin setted down to an acoustical membrane, which is in return glued to the substrate, you end up creating that gap of air that we've talked earlier about, that's going to basically do a great job as far as reducing the transfer vibrations. In the case of ceramic tile, we need to remember that because of its density to start with, we need to remember that acoustical tile floor will not achieve as great performance to start with than a wood or laminate job floor, simply because of its density. So when you're looking at FIIC 55, is probably 55, 56 is most likely as good as it's going to get on a typical concrete slab install. Other couple things to maybe pay attention to would be the anti-fracture feature that comes with, or that should come with the installation of an acoustical membrane for ceramic. And what that means is basically that you want to make sure that the acoustical membrane used under the ceramic will basically not create any movement, non-necessary movement within the structure, and therefore make your grout crack. We also remember that an acoustical membrane for ceramic, which, by the way, the biggest complaint with ceramic is definitely its temperature. So ceramic tile floors are always, if not often, really cold, and that's one feature that people don't necessarily appreciate about it. So if you use an acoustical membrane that has acoustical features, but also will add thermal value, so keep your feet more comfortable, and also possibly be compatible with any heat system and make them even more performant, such as a hydronic, so the heated slab, or a electrical system, which means you're avoiding from losing too much heat from that wire to the structure. It makes it even more efficient at the end of the day. So choosing the right acoustical membrane with all those features for ceramic tile is definitely a must. As a side note, because of the reality of ceramic floors, as we talked about, it's a denser material, which means not as good performance can be expected from it. It is ideal to limit its use to lower traffic areas.